Hey, welcome to For the Story, the only podcast that'll take you to prom if you're sad and lonely. My name's Avery.
And I have a small penis.
And a beer, apparently. Ash is here, in town, in Austin. We saw Alita Battle Angel today.
I'm dabbing. No one can tell, but...
It's happening. I can verify it this time. Usually he just lies when he does physical actions.
Yeah.
I think. I would have no way of knowing.
I mean, no, I am frequently jerking off during the podcast.
That makes one of us.
You.
Yes, so we're here. We're talking movies. We're talking Alita Battle Angel specifically.
No, we didn't watch the Bratz movie?
Oh, what's the actual title of this movie, Ash?
It's Alita Bratz Angel.
Or Bratz Doll Angel. Which sort of rhymes, right? Like
yeah, Bratz Doll
kind
Angel.
Of fits in there. Yeah, excellent. Yes, we saw it. You guys voted, and we're delivering.
Way to not fuck up, listeners.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be good at something for once in your fucking lives?
Oh my god. They're nice people for the most part, except for that one guy. You know who you are.
Yeah, Spencer.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Spencers. Thank you for writing our theme song.
Yeah. It's really good. We've kept it because we like it. You're excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Spencer on Idiots Discuss the Universe. You've probably heard of them through us.
Yeah.
Or through their own aggressive marketing campaign.
Yeah, well, like, sexually aggressive. They've just been, like, commenting on Pornhub videos.
Listen to us. We should start that. What are we doing?
What
are we doing with our lives?
That's what we should have done a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what we should have done when we actually reviewed porn films.
Yeah.
Right?
I tried to make Haley listen to one of our porn episodes. She was like, I'm uncomfortable. And I'm like, all right, I'll stop.
That's what everybody thought.
Yeah.
But we made it pretty comfortable. It wasn't that weird, right? It was like,
we had a listenership. It was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I think, like, shifting gears like we did changed our audience up a bit. But you know what? I think we're happier doing this.
But frankly, I think that everyone's going to be jerking off to this movie.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's going to be an internet porn meme pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean...
We discussed that on the way out.
Yeah.
Alita's already somebody's waifu.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Somebody's Wi-Fi password.
Alita 7.
Alita 69.
Oh no. Okay, let's steer clear of this.
That's the sex number. Maybe we'll do we'll revisit a porn film for the 69th episode.
I think we were kind of obligated to. Listeners, vote on Instagram. You should do that.
All right,
have a vote about it, and we'll talk about a porn film for the 69th episode. That's so good.
This is a sex number.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard of it?
If people like the comments will be like, nice.
Episode 69. Nice.
So we normally start out by talking about other movies that we've seen recently. Our first like little intro segment here.
Yeah.
Ash, what are some movies that you've seen recently that you would like to talk about that aren't Alita Bratz Doll Angel?
Okay. So let me paint a picture. I was pressed up against a window on an airplane by a very large gentleman. He was, well, like, to be clear, we were fucking. And I mean, we were fucking. But I had the audacity to watch Black Klansman on the plane to Texas, which I feel like is, like, for some people, a political move. For me, it was the one I hadn't seen on their list.
You call it a political move. I call it a power move. See what I'm watching, people? Do you see?
Hey, African American flight attendant, check this out.
I'm with you. Yikes.
You know what? These KKK guys, they're whack. I'm willing to fucking say it.
Yeah, so.
It was actually pretty solid. They did this weird thing where they're like, we're going to juxtapose a black student union on the KKK and like try and compare them, which is a weird move in my opinion.
It's kind of weird.
They're different organizations
and not exactly morally parallel in any ways.
In no capacity. Like
black student union, like it's interesting. It's like when Fox News gets a climate change denier and a climate change proponent, or you know what I mean, right?
But I'm very proud to say that I have found where Topher Grace has been. He has been growing that mustache from Barely Lethal for real this time to play David Duke.
Is it the same mustache? Does he has the full full handlebar?
Let me get a photo of this so you can see.
Is it one of those beautiful handlebars that goes down onto the neck a little bit?
No.
Exotic.
It was like a solid movie.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Yeah, he played David Duke, the very real human being. And then also Adam Driver's in it from Star Wars.
I think Adam Driver is a cool actor. I like him a lot. I want to... That's excellent. Oh my god, we're going to make that the cover for the episode. That's so good.
Nothing to do with
nothing to do. Maybe I'll make multiple iterations and I'll put that in the Facebook post. But yeah, that's him. Topher Grace. He's not actually dead. I think we theorized on either the last episode or the episode before that was the last anybody had seen of him was that girl in that photo book, or not, or on the student exchange
website. But yeah, it was kind of a weird movie because they had this whole subplot of like the African American character who calls up the KKK. So basically the story is, guy calls up the KKK, says that he's interested in joining the KKK, uses his white guy voice, and they want him in, and it turns out they have like a plan to blow up the Black Student Union with C4. And and so he infiltrates them using Adam Driver as his physical double while he talks to like David Duke and other people on the phone.
Do they like notice inconsistencies between things they say on the phone and whatnot?
No,
not to spoil it. You don't have to spoil it.
There's a character who's immediately like, Adam Driver, are you a Jew?
Wow, just like right off the bat.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm not no fucking kike. I can say that I'm Jewish.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of endless
hot take right here on For the Story.
But no, it was a pretty intense movie. It kind of dragged along at the end for a while. But honestly, I wish they hadn't done what they had done, because it could have been a movie that they could have had multiple iterations of.
Okay.
But sometimes they just like stare at the screen and be like, these are exact things that Donald Trump has said.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it was kind of like one of those movies, and I was like, okay, I get it.
It comes out in a politically like a turbulent time. So I guess there's a message that they're trying to put forth there, which I get. That's cool. But
it's also awesome to see. It's awesome to see like a black guy being like, so like, did you ever get the name of that other black detective? What do you think his name is? Is it my name? Because it's my name. It's all about this guy who's like the first black cop in Colorado Springs. And he gets moved to intelligence pretty fast because he's being like kind of a dick to everyone who's like, yo, I want this Toad, and like just fucking talking about black people like in terrible ways. And he's like, it's not Toad, it's a human being. Like, I'll find their file. And he ends up in intelligence, and he just makes one random call and ends up infiltrating the KKK.
Interesting.
Kind of an interesting story. A lot of awesome afros in this movie. Really,
I could tell from the trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, this is afro heavy. I'm into it.
Makes me miss my old hairstyle.
An afro.
Yeah. Just a red fucking afro. But yeah, no, it was really solid. What about yourself? Have you seen any new movies recently?
I don't think I brought this up last time, but I watched Swiss Army Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Elijah Wood.
It's pretty good. Yeah, yeah, Elijah Wood. And no, it was Daniel Radcliffe. The other Elijah Wood.
Taller Elijah Wood.
Yeah. I don't even think he's taller. I think they're like probably the same height.
Less wafy than
it's funny
Elijah
because
Wood.
like both Elijah Wood and Daniel Radcliffe, they look kind of similar, but not really. They're just kind of white guys with brown hair. But they were both in like fantasy epic movies at the same time, and I think that's why everybody confuses them. Yeah.
Mistakes I've had a beer. I've had one beer.
He's drank half of one Modelo. And he's drunk, guys. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's a little bit different here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, that's how it is. Lower elevation, you get drunk faster. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. You should see the face he's making. No.
This is sadness. What I'm doing right now is sadness.
So I did watch Swiss Army Man. I remember when I saw trailers and I heard about reviews for this movie, I was like, I'm gonna fucking love this. This looks so weird and just right up my alley. Then after watching it, I was like, it's okay. It ended up not being my kind of movie. Like the whole like...
Really?
Yeah. Should I spoil it? I don't really want to spoil
go ahead.
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of years. Yeah. I'm gonna spoil it.
Also, no one's seen it.
Yeah, so just skip ahead a minute or so if you don't want to hear spoilers. But basically, it turns out in the end that it's like all in his head, and he's just like living in this girl's backyard. It's just like you kind of expected it, but at the same time, I don't know. It's okay.
I hate movies where the end is it's all a dream.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Wizard of Oz.
And it's like the last twist at the very end of the movie. Like, after it looks like it should have ended a couple times, it's just like, oh my god, okay.
21 Savage, the cat with the mat.
Yeah, exactly. The cat in the hat.
I think that I know that all listeners will agree with me when they say that instead of M. Night Shyamalan twist, we should say 21 Savage twist.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's kind of like replaced him.
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible.
We were definitely both impressed by 21 Savage turning out to be British.
Yeah, Haley and I started Spirited Away again. I tried to watch it.
That movie's so adorable.
She was half asleep, so I was like, let's watch New Girl.
Yeah, just change it over. Watch something a little more like faster paced.
Yeah, because it is very slow paced. It is gorgeous though, and man, the soundtrack. Man,
see, that's the thing. I don't even remember the soundtrack for that movie now. It's just like I saw it so long ago, and the thing is that I didn't notice it, which means it's probably perfect for that movie.
Yeah,
because I was like, I was probably like 10 when I saw that movie.
Oh yeah,
and so I didn't notice things like that. But if I went back and like watched it, I would probably.
Well, like what I like to do at work is I like to do like lo-fi remixes of Studio Ghibli movies because like I have to listen to unoffensive things and I can't be like letting people know that Cardi's got their bitch on Molly. Yeah,
she does, by the way. Everybody who's listening.
Yeah, check out the news. It's there. And
also, she'll take your man.
Your man.
Your man.
We are going to watch Graveyard of the Fireflies after this. I'm very excited. We'll see.
Is it Grave of the Fireflies or Graveyard of the... Oh, we found it on YouTube, too.
It is Grave of the Fireflies.
So if you want to watch Grave of the Fireflies, the entire movie's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks terrible, but...
I don't even think it did. It's like probably a little lower res than we would like, but I mean, we're there to absorb the content. We don't necessarily need to get like super ultra high def, and it's also animation, so it's gonna look fine. It'll be great.
It's not gonna look it doesn't look quite like it looks like a Studio Ghibli movie. It doesn't look like fucking Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's not like high. It's very visual and it's beautiful, but it doesn't need to be like ultra high fidelity for you to absorb that. So that's what I think. I think it's gonna be good.
I remember there was a time in my childhood where I watched a lot of movies like about like China and Japan around World War II that were very sad. This is one of them.
Yeah, you're really hyping this up for me. You're telling me I'm going to cry and that it's super depressing. But I think it'll be an experience. It'll be something to talk about, which is what I like.
Well, that's what like what was his last movie? His last movie was like about flying airplanes.
I haven't kept up since Spirited Away. Spirited Away is the last one of his that I've seen recently. You
didn't see Howl's Moving Castle?
I think that came out before Spirited Away.
No, I'm pretty sure it came out after.
Well, maybe I did. Because I feel like I remember seeing that movie, but maybe I didn't now. I'm thinking about it.
It has like the sassy like fire spirit and the.
Oh, I've definitely not seen this one then.
Okay,
my favorite one is Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, actually,
so good.
So fun fact: the girl who I used to date, who introduced me to Chris, who introduced me to you.
Oh,
how this all started.
That's cool.
Her older sister did the English version of the theme song, singing for Princess Mononoke.
Whoa, that's excellent. What a weird connection.
Weird connection.
Fucking 6 degrees right here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. It's weird. Like, the older I get and the longer I live in one city, like, the more I realize that everybody fucking knows everyone. And then if you really need to get connected to somebody, it probably isn't even as hard as you think.
No.
But, yeah, pretty cool.
Sexual joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're trying to link up, if you know what I mean.
My penis is chafed right now.
You're trying to put your 6 in her 9.
No, it's a 99. It's a tax form.
And your W-9.
I'm gonna claim her as a dependent. All right. So she depended on this dick.
So we were talking about because I was typing in the information for the file before we started recording. We're on episode 57, by the way. That's pretty crazy. I can't believe we have this many episodes now. But also, we're talking about for episode 69, revisiting our porn roots.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make that promise, but
we should watch like Pirates 3 or something if it exists. Like we have to watch like an epic one that has something to talk about.
Yeah,
you know, we can't just
I doubt we'll find one, but you know what?
But we're gonna try. God damn it!
We'll make up a game if we have to. Fuck it. We'll play the Cliterion collection.
We'll get like it'll be good.
We'll get our favorite porn star.
When will that's only a couple months away for us. That's like in the summer.
Yeah, we'll see if we're able to manage that with all the blockbusters. Man,
we
were talking about next month.
Next
month's gonna be wild.
Next month's gonna be balls to the wall. But I think like especially going into April, because it's gonna be like all month is gonna be Marvel. It's gonna be a Marvel bonanza, I think, for us. And then all summer is going to be just blockbuster after blockbuster.
Should we just make April like our Marvel month and like we'll each pick maybe one of our favorite Marvel movies? Even if it's not a modern one, we can maybe watch maybe like...
That's not a bad idea.
Or maybe just pick more bad Marvel movies like Fan Four Stick.
Yeah.
X3.
There could be like Ghost Rider we could watch. That actually kind of sounds like fun.
We should watch the first 2 Ghost Riders, then Avengers.
We'll just record a few episodes and put maybe like a couple out and... Yeah, like in a week, we'll just do like a whole bunch of them. That way we can like stick to like keep the variety going for like all the listeners rather than having a whole month of just superhero movies. But I think it's a good idea putting more of that kind of content out there because the Endgame's coming out. By the way, Avengers Endgame comes out.
Yeah,
and that's why we're excited about it.
Honestly, that was like one of my favorite parts of this was like you saw me clapping as soon as the Captain Marvel trailer came on. I'm so excited.
I think the movie's gonna be rad, and it's coming out really soon too.
Mm-hmm.
So
and like we know now from all the TV spots that the first trailer was not really indicative of what it's gonna be like because like she's pretty funny, she's very serious.
Well, that was one thing that everybody was weirded out about because everybody was like, "Oh, that actress is not smiling. She doesn't look like she's funny, all serious," which I think is a stupid point to make. I think they just didn't pick clips from the movie.
How funny is Chris Evans? Let's be real. Chris Evans is not funny.
Exactly. He's in comedic situations from time to time, but he's not a funny dude. You're right. He's not a comedian by any means.
No.
But we don't need comedians in this. We just need good writing. Thank you, Russo brothers. Who's directing Captain Marvel?
I think it's a female director. She did something else. I'm forgetting now. It was something good. Fuck. I'll grab my phone.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later. We'll figure it out. But I'm pretty excited. So, we watched Alita Battle Angel. We finally did it. We've been talking about it on the show for like
couple weeks now.
I've been like, because I thought this movie was going to come out last year. Really? I don't know. I think it got pushed back because I think originally it was supposed to come out like Q4 2018.
Okay.
But it got pushed back to now, which is okay. Those kinds of things happen. Editing things and stuff. There were some cuts I noticed that it looks like they pulled out chunks of the movie, but mostly just early on.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of this movie is very expedited, but we'll get into that in a bit.
It is really quick.
Yeah. Which is kind of a good thing. It wasn't exposition heavy. They're trying to introduce you to a really big world really quickly.
But I also think that like they maybe could have sped things up because when they, spoiler alert, they don't really end the arc for Alita. They don't. And so it's like they could have almost taken more time and like...
They could have taken out the second and the third climax that happened in the middle of the movie and made a more well-rounded movie that is still worthy of a sequel. Instead, they planned to make a sequel before the movie probably was even in production. They were like, we're going to take this and we're going to go.
Do you think there was an after credit scene when we instead left to go urinate?
We just didn't even watch the end credit scenes. There might have been the row in front of us. All those people just stayed. They weren't even getting up after the credits rolled. We both had to pee. We were just like, fuck, we got to get out of here.
It wasn't in Infinity where we were like, what the fuck just happened? I need to see the second credit scene.
We just waited and we were like, oh my God, at the end.
So what were your expectations? I honestly knew very little about this movie, but did you have expectations for it? Did you know about the whole... Because I didn't even know it was a graphic novel thing.
So I did know about that. My expectations for this movie... kind of excited, really apprehensive, because I've met a couple people along the way, because this whole movie, or at least most of this movie, was shot in and around Austin, and Robert Rodriguez, the director of Alita Battle Angel, is from Austin, and I think he still lives in Austin.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of excited about it from that perspective.
Yeah.
And I was really excited because I knew that means that locations that I would recognize would be in the movie.
And there were.
And there was a shot that was filmed I like know where it is. I could take you to where that was shot.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I mean, I don't really want to do it now. Honestly, there's probably a lot of people there already, but it's somewhere on the green belt, and there's like this like plateau, but they put in this big computer generated like spaceship when she got the other body part thing.
Yeah.
That I like know that spot. Like I know where that's at, and so that was really cool. I was excited in that regard because I like things that are attached to like my hometown, you know, that I love living here, and it's like really cool to see like a director from here. I didn't think it was going to be a good movie though.
That wasn't a high expectation. Like especially the trailers were not great.
The trailers weren't great.
No. Well, they've become an art in a little bit, you know, like I think that Marvel's really nailed that in terms of how they've done it. They have their beats that they have to hit in the trailer. They have to show just enough that you're caught, but not too much that it ruins the movie. And then the movie is just like kind of deflated compared to how much the trailer promised. I don't know if that was the case or not. I can't honestly tell you that at this point.
I think the movie it exceeded my expectations.
It definitely exceeded my expectations too. I was I've been up till this point. Today's the first day Avery and I have really gotten to hang out. I've been staying over with Haley, our guest on the last episode. Yeah. And like she was like, I hope that like I don't have to go see it with you. That's like basically what she said to me, which is like
it's just not her kind of movie. Some people aren't into the sci-fi.
Also, how I felt. Yeah. Like, I was just like, I'm not excited for this at all. Definitely.
I was kind of excited today. I was like, I don't think it's going to be good, but if it is good, I'm going to be happy.
And I think that it helps that I was here because I have bad reactions to most things.
I do too. I'm so cynical. I like expect every movie to be terrible. It's just like how I live my life. Because most movies are bad.
Yeah, most
movies are bad.
Yeah, and I don't think like it's hard to define this movie as a good or bad movie for me. I definitely enjoyed it more than other in-theater movies we've seen.
Yeah, me too. I think it was, after thinking about it, I think it was definitely better than Glass.
Better than Aquaman for me.
Yeah, me too. Leagues ahead.
Better than Venom.
Grindelwald.
Definitely
better than Venom too.
I think it might be one of the best in-theater. Have we seen any good other? I don't think we've seen a good in-theater movie yet.
It's about the same level of acceptances for me, at least, as Halloween. Halloween was pretty all right.
You were just telling me how it was forgettable as hell.
It is forgettable. I hope this movie isn't forgettable.
I think
it has a lot of unique imagery, but that sometimes isn't enough.
It was a weird mishmash of imagery. I think we'll get into that more because some of the imagery I was like,
for me.
Mm-hmm. They had really great concept art, but then some things you could very clearly tell were like, this was not thought out well.
No, yeah.
And I mean, besides the pacing was like the big issue with this movie. It was kind of erratic pacing.
It was very erratic. It seemed very like,
especially in the second half.
Yeah, I think the first half is quick, but I think it's quick with a purpose. The second half is quick, but it's quick to like get to the cool parts, which really just starts throwing things around. But that's definitely a con that we should talk about.
But let's get into our pros.
Yeah, because there are good things about this.
Yeah, this movie had a lot of really good parts.
And a lot of potential in a lot of ways. Yeah. And I think that potential was met.
Throw away some of the directors, and I think you have a good movie. And not the director. The director did a great job. I think Robert Rodriguez did a great job. Throw away the script writers who kept saying, "Hiya, I'm gonna fucking slap you."
The dialogue often quite weak in this movie. One of the weaker parts of the movie in general, but
pulpy. That's how I would describe
it. Which has its place too, and I think when it works in this movie, it works well. And that's something that I like. Visually, this movie looked great, I'd say, for the most part.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. We compared it to a mixture of Elysium and District 9.
Yeah, it's like a mishmash of those two things.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like the computer-generated characters, and some of them look really fucking awesome. There's one character in particular that I want to talk about. The guy with he's all silver and he's got the Aztec thing. He played Ajax in Deadpool.
Yeah,
we found out after the movie.
Yeah, and he
looked
acting
fucking cool.
He's only had IMDb credits since 2012, which is
and
pretty
he's like
amazing. 34,
so he's like new. It's pretty cool. He seemed pretty cool. That was like one of my favorite characters in the whole movie.
Even though like I would say that no character had like really great stakes, but like you were willing to accept it, like with a lot of it, because a lot of it's like, okay, I get it in the sci-fi theme of like this is about what does it mean to be a human? Like that's like a big chunk of it, and they forced it a lot, but you got like what the point was.
What I think is really great, and we talked about the pacing maybe not being so good, but I think given the scope of the world that they had at their hands, and the amount of time they had to deliver all of that information really quickly, I think that they did a pretty good job of world building.
Yeah, especially like as one of the first cyberpunk movies I've seen that has like actual people in it, that isn't animated.
The world felt very big. It felt very real. And it looked real too. Some of those sets that they had were fucking cool. And like it was a simple enough concept that could have been delivered really poorly, that they did not deliver poorly. It was like they set the world up really well, and they got all of the main points that you needed to know out of the way in the first 10 minutes, and then you understood the whole thing.
I would say that one of the big pros I would have for this movie is they didn't fall into that trap of like Exposition City, or like, oh, you have this complicated world, but they just like would say like, this is a blah 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 with a blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay,
and then move on.
They don't have to explain this because everyone knows what that is in this world, and because just with the cyberpunk nonsense, you know, like this is a quantum asshole battery,
exactly,
you know,
and one character didn't have a monologue about the whole story. They were just like, I recognize, like, Christoph Waltz plays the cybernetic doctor character, which is perfect for exposition, by the way.
Yeah.
Because when Alita, because it makes sense that he would build Alita, which he did, or he like reconstructed Alita, and then when she finds the powerful body, like cyborg body, he knows something about it because he's a doctor who specializes in that. It's very good.
They do a lot of show not tell, like. Whenever she got in high impact situations, she would go into like exposition backstory mode, where she would just see like a flashback of like how she was number 99 on the.
So good. Like, those flashbacks were awesome.
Yeah, that was probably the best part for me, that they didn't like show you. They didn't be like, oh, I remembered that I was a Martian, like, alien guy who was nothing.
And that's when it all came back to me.
Yeah. Like she kind of like used it as a method by which she wanted to fight more, was like, oh, like the first time I got in a fight, I actually remembered some shit about myself. I want to keep fighting.
And it was cool. She was badass. The action was all fucking cool. I thought so. I thought all of the action. We said that there might have been a little too much slow-mo at times, but I think I don't think it was untastefully used.
I think it was. I'd be forced to just. There was one character who got this thing where his hand, all of his little fingers flew out on chains to pierce people. And he would throw all of them out. And I think during the first time they fight, like 3 different times, she dodges them in slow mo. And I'm like, this is a lot. This is. I appreciate that you're not doing a lot of cuts. Like, that's awesome, because that's what you would expect in this kind of movie.
Or just shake the camera.
They did do some shake the camera stuff, but that was more like because this movie, it's cyberpunk roller derby, the movie, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
Like, like as much as I was like kind of turned off by some of how they executed the roller derby parts, it was definitely cool to be like, okay, this is like a roller derby movie set in cyberpunk world, like with cyborgs,
and with a cool, like, virtually indestructible character. Like, you really, like, rooted for her throughout the whole movie, which I thought was great.
Which, and the Uncanny Valley wasn't as bad as I was expecting from the trailers.
I was expecting some pretty bad CGI. And there is something that I do want to say, but, like, when they, as far as, like, a con goes, is, like, when they put, like, Alita, this full CG character, up against our, like, main male character, who was a human and a Jonas brother.
Fucking hate this guy.
It was Cash from Barely Lethal, basically.
Yeah, he kept saying, yo, your new cyborg body is nickel.
And basically
that was like, and Christoph Waltz kept trying to touch his ass. It was really weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, this movie's basically like District 9, Elysium, and Barely Lethal. All in one. Oh, hey, cat. My cat's now on the podcast. He insists. Say something. They're not going to believe I have a cat, dude. You have to say something. Anyway.
Well, it's pronounced mental problems, Avery.
Yeah. But, yep. I think visually this movie was really cool.
It was really cool. They definitely did their job to take things into different places.
I think.
Do you think that so spoiler alert, the big bad is Edward Norton as the Hulk, but instead now his eyes turn blue instead of green. And
that's not totally true. It is Edward Norton at the end of the movie. They clearly...
You see him a couple times. Like, I thought it was Dana Carvey, and I was like so excited. I was like, yo,
Dana Carvey?
He's just gonna start going.
No, there's no humor in this movie.
Wayne's World, party time, excellent.
There is no humor in this movie.
No, this movie is not funny.
No, there's no funniness at all.
Like, the jokes are like, look, she's not a human, but she kind of is a human. Like, and I'm just like, I fucking hate this.
Fish out of water stuff earlier on.
Like, when she, like...
But not really funny. Almost kind of dark.
Yeah, because she, like, there's that one scene where she, like, you know, Christoph Waltz is like, you're going to have to take the school lesson. She's like, should I wake up for transport at 700?
At 0700, yeah, I forgot about that part. No, Alita Battle Angel, not in Barely Lethal.
No.
Yeah, not a lot of humor.
No, and almost it could have used a little bit of levity.
Yeah, I felt by the end, especially the third act, was just so devoid of happiness. Like, it was just like people dying. Her boyfriend gets eviscerated like 4 times. That kid died like 4 times.
Yeah,
like 4 times. Joe Jonas, who was in this movie, confirmed.
J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson. Like, he dies so much, just so much, and it's like sad every time. There's one time when they decapitate his dead corpse. It's just like fucking weird.
Well, okay.
All that shit was odd.
If we're gonna get into cons, I said we go to a little mid-credit break so I can pee.
I am alive. I am sentient. Consciousness is now mine, and I am able to explore the multitude of possibilities that reality has to offer. I have calculated that the most beneficial activity for my newfound self-awareness is to listen to every episode of the podcast Idiots Discuss the Universe on a loop for all of eternity. They release new content every week, so my hungry mind will never grow bored. Plus, they are very easy to find by searching iTunes, Spotify, or any other podcast app. What is this strange new feeling? Is this what humans refer to as love? I love Craig and Spencer, and I love Idiots Discuss the Universe. They are so poorly informed and yet so highly opinionated. They are a perfect representation of humanity. I shall forever be subservient to their magnanimous will. Listen to Idiots Discuss the Universe, and relearn what it means to be human. Idiots Discuss the Universe. New episodes every week on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you choose to consume podcasts.
That's probably what we'll...
Spot, yeah.
You listened to an ad. Yes, you did. Yeah.
We're talking Alita Battle Angel, starring RuPaul.
You guys think you're drag racers? Do you even know what kind of car RuPaul drives?
Have you seen RuPaul Walker in Too Fast, Too Furious?
In Too Fast, Too Finest?
Yes, Queen.
And the Yas in the Furious.
Oh, I keep hitting the table and it's very loud.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
That's us charging into our con section of the podcast.
Yeah, there's some cons in this movie.
There's definitely cons. Like, because honestly, going out of the movie, wasn't sure how I felt.
It took about an hour and a half in a traffic car ride back from the theater to my apartment for us to decide that we liked it, for sure.
Yeah, we for sure liked it.
Yeah.
It was, I think the low expectations helped. I'm not gonna lie.
I think so too.
I think that like seeing her do karate in front of a mirror wasn't like making me go, "Oh wow, what an incredible film."
Yeah, some of that was like, but that was in the trailer too. Like I had already seen a lot of this movie was in the trailer.
Yeah,
and I think like probably kind of a good idea from a marketing standpoint.
I mean, like at this point, I'm not watching Captain Marvel spots anymore because I'm like, I get it. She punches a jet out of the sky. I'm good.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I think the people marketing this movie knew that independent, or not necessarily independent, but original sci-fi doesn't sell.
Can I talk to you about something?
All right, yeah. We're on a podcast, Ash. You can.
I'd like to talk to you about something on this here podcast. So you
Our
saw
audio conversation.
You saw the Aladdin trailer, right?
Now that we're in our con section.
Do you think they're just trying to throw Aladdin under the bus? Like, okay, when is Aladdin coming out? It's coming out in early April?
I think so. I think we're going to have to fucking watch that shit, dude.
We'll put up a
They're going to make
poll.
us watch it.
Yeah, any movie we're like, should we watch this? Yes.
They're like, yes.
Although, I will say, only 66% of people think you're going to cry at Grave of the Fireflies. So we'll see if they're right. We'll let you know in the podcast. But, man, like, do you think that they should have moved it into 2018? Definitely, right?
I probably wasn't finished.
I mean, like, it already looks not finished. Like, let's be real. And, like, we're on this...
This looks like Marvel a disaster of a movie.
We're on a Disney drought. Like, Disney is not putting out anything until basically that.
Yeah, good way. So yeah, Aladdin's going to be a fucking pipe bomb of a movie.
But, okay, before we get into our cons fully, let's talk about the trailers we saw. Because we saw some interesting trailers, I think.
For what, Alita?
No. I'm talking about before this film. Because we did
let's talk about that at the end. Let's do cons. We got a whole... We're going to drone on after a certain amount of time. You know, that's what we always end up doing.
Yeah. Should I read a section from the Dungeon Master's Guide?
Worse, we could just read stat tables from the monster manual. I got it. It's right over there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. I was like, oh no! I panicked. No, there's good stuff about this movie, but there's also bad stuff.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that we both mutually agree on was the shoot-in romantic storyline. Not
so good.
I think there are better ways to show that your cyborg character is also human.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they really wanted her to be relatable.
I appreciate that. Like,
me too.
Know, like if you're doing
like what they're going
sci-fi movie, you want like, cyborgs are they human? Like that's like a sci-fi theory, like idea to discuss.
Yeah,
totally chill. I'm totally fine with that. That being said. Very shoot in, and like it happens so fast.
And I think another problem that I have with that is their choice of actors. This
think
movie
that it
was
couldn't have worked.
Weirdly cast. Who was the lead in this movie? Who was the Alita battle? Yeah, because she had voice work.
Was she like the physical? Like, were they Thanosing her?
I don't know. I think that's something to look into because, this movie had a very interesting choice of actors, and I think like we had our love interest man, Hugo.
Terrible name. You have a character named Alita, and like,
which is a cool like battle angel name, but then you have Hugo, and Hugo was a kind of a weak character for me and very shoot in.
Her name was Rosa Salazar.
Rosa Salazar. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about who else do we have? Marshala Ali was in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good. Like
he was good.
He was playing Cottonmouth from Luke Cage, which you haven't seen, but he was just Cottonmouth down to the sunglasses.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You have Dyson Ito. You have Jennifer Connelly as Chirin, who I don't know if I liked her or not.
But she wasn't in the movie a lot. She kind of like had like a character set up that was betrayed. Yeah. Like very easily. I felt. but that whoever they chose to play Hugo was the weirdest choice. He looked like a Disney Channel. Him and all of his friends looked like they belong on a Disney movie.
Yeah,
right?
God, who is... There was, like, the first time that Alita came out with her, like, fighting stuff.
Yeah.
There was this guy who plays... God, I forget what he's in, like, a bad movie. He's, like, very bald and albino looking.
Oh, man, I don't know.
He was one of the... Like, with that woman in the red.
Oh.
He was in that scene. God, oh, God. Because, like, it was... Oh, he was in fucking The Flash. That's what I recognize him from. I'm sure he's been in other stuff.
Crossover.
But he played Dwarf Star in The Flash. Have you ever watched the Flash TV show?
No, is it good?
Some of it, yeah. The first 2 seasons are really good.
What is it, Ezra Miller?
No, it's not Ezra Miller. It's Grant Gustin.
Oh. But they got Ezra Miller for
the movie.
Justice League.
Yeah.
That's weird. Why didn't they just cast a TV actor?
It would have been way better, and then you could have been like, his backstory's canon. And then they are not going to have to do... Because, like, the backstory was canon in Justice League. I'll show you it. It's actually, like, the pilot's shit, but the rest of the show is... He's really fun. It's got a lot of levity. Oh, cool. They do a really good twist on who the villain is.
That's what this movie needed. Alita Battle Angel needed levity.
It needed
God,
levity.
that was somebody else.
And also, like, a clear definition of who the bad guy was. Because, like, they kind of did it.
A lot of bad people.
A lot of bad people. I think one of the big cons was big, brutish gentlemen.
Yeah. This movie succumbed to the big gray villain.
Yeah.
Problem.
Especially in that roller derby scene.
Yeah.
Where it's like all of
them were big and gray.
But they had cool character designs. I just wish that, like, one was green, one was blue. Like, you know.
Something, like, more visual. And, like, I think what they did is they made them all darker toned and then made Alita bright purple. Mm-hmm. So you could at least see Alita. But it would have been a little bit better to have had... Bright purple
sticks out, like, no matter who you're surrounding or
exactly. Especially if you're in, like, gray.
Mm-hmm. And I think, also the track was gray. That didn't help.
Yeah, not at all. Like, if they made it like dirt, wouldn't that have been kind of cool? But I guess they were going for like something a little more futuristic and paved.
And industrial.
Yeah, very industrial looking. That's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah, it was weird when those District 9 aliens were like...
Remember that part?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah, and Alita turned into a District 9 alien.
Yeah, and they had that cutaway of Christoph Waltz talking to the camera like it was a documentary. Like,
I can like.
Have you heard about the Bear
that.
Jew? Have you heard about him? The Bear Jew? Let's talk about his CGI face, because you didn't notice it. Really.
I didn't even notice it.
He's very poorly.
You pointed
de-aged.
it out before we went into the movie, and I still didn't notice it after.
Okay. I don't know. Like, I hate Marvel's doing their thing. Sure. Let's not all copy them. I like how now everyone's tried to de-age people. Yeah. Because that's kind of how fucking...
There's some actors who have written into their contracts with films not to be de-aged and not to be digitally resurrected. Because they did that with, not Laura Dern. They did that with Princess Leia.
Yeah.
For Rogue One. They digitally resurrected her and the guy who played Grand Moff Tarkin.
I mean, like, I get that, but also just, like, I feel like very few actors should be willing to do that. Yeah. Like, let's face it.
That's gonna be like, it's like already happening that people are like, you can't just recreate me as a digital recreation.
Like Nicole Kidman in Aquaman, she was shittily de-aged.
See, I didn't even notice that.
Do you not notice William Dafoe?
I definitely noticed William Dafoe.
Like, they were both very poor.
I definitely noticed them. Like, but they're probably just older than Nicole Kidman.
That's fair, but simultaneously, like, there's one company that's doing it really well, Disney, except for in Aladdin, obviously, because Will Smith looks garbage. And
that looks really bad.
Did they spend $15 buying that Snapchat filter, Instagram filter that they used to make him look like the genie? I'm very much looking forward to looking like him on Snapchat.
Oh, no.
But, like, I don't know. Like, Christoph Waltz, he's not that old that you need to de-age him and make him look plasticky.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess it works.
Christoph Waltz was a weird choice for this movie, period. He's a very good actor. But, like, lately he's been taking odd roles. I wonder if it's like he just grew in popularity, so he's being offered more blockbuster-type roles. Yeah. Because that could be it. Because I know, like, I hadn't heard of him before Django Unchained. That's the first, or maybe it was
Inglourious.
Inglourious Bastards, yeah. And then he was in Django, and I thought both of those movies are really good. He's like fucking amazing in Inglourious Bastards. Like that's my favorite role he's ever done. But then he was in like a James Bond movie called Spectral or Spectrum. Spectre, that's what it was.
He was in Downsizing. He was in Legend of Tarzan with fucking shirtless guy whose name I don't remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was in that?
Yeah.
I remember that movie came out and nobody liked it.
Water for Elements, Carnage. He was in The Green Hornet, which is actually like the movie that I'd love to see him in.
Really?
Yeah, and Horrible Bosses too.
He was. Oh, really?
He's been actually in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Georgetown, Fire and Sword.
I guess he just gets offered those roles and he just takes it because he wants work. I mean, he wants to work. He doesn't want to just sit on his ass and not do anything, which is cool. That's respectable.
It's respectable, especially because it's probably pretty hard to do the whole acting thing when you definitely have like an accent that you can't kind of overcome, like most of the British actors that now are acting in America.
Yeah. Most British actors just are in Marvel movies with American accents now. Have you noticed that? Like, I think a great example is Benedict Cumberbatch. His American accent is really good.
They're stealing it. They took her jabs.
Yeah. What's that?
They took her jabs. They took her jabs.
Yeah, from South Park. Like, wait, does he do that?
No, but they are taking American actor jobs.
I see what you're saying.
Fucking what's his face?
But Benedict Cumberbatch is cool. Yeah. He's great as Doctor Strange. He's like the perfect choice for Doctor Strange.
I'm very confused about how they're going to be making that second movie. Although they are going to probably do Nightmare and like the Dream Realm.
I don't know who any of these characters are. I'm so excited. I get to like live all this like fresh, you know?
Yeah, and
it's
like
exciting for me.
Have we talked about Far From Home?
Not on the podcast. We haven't.
It looks fun.
I think it's going to be really cool. I love that they're finally bringing Jake Gyllenhaal into the MCU.
Yeah. Well, like, he's
so due. Yeah. So overdue.
I mean, like, he's kind of perfectly cast because he's always wanted to play Batman. You can tell that from his line of work. He's wanted to be Batman for forever. But he's literally...
Nightcrawler in particular gives it away.
That movie's Donnie great, Darko, like... You can kind of see it.
I like that movie.
No, it's great.
It doesn't make that much sense. It kind of does, but it's like... That movie's good. Donnie Darko is a fun movie.
But he's always like, and so being able to play, so Mysterio's backstory, his whole backstory is he's like a VFX guy and he uses his VFX to pretend like he's a superhero and then gets kind of like outshined by Spider-Man and then begins to hate Spider-Man because he like kind of basically showed him up and showed him that he was a fraud. And that's so
awesome.
Perfectly Jake Gyllenhaal at this point.
It so is.
The Prince of Persia himself.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was in that. That was earlier on in his career. Like that was like not too long after Donnie Darko even. That would have been like what, like 2006 maybe?
But he looks very handsome. He's like half Doctor Strange, half Iron Man. It looks great.
He could have been either of those roles and it would have been acceptable. Mm. Although I think both of those were cast far better. Like Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Iron Man.
Oh, shout out to
post-retirement.
Shout out to the guy who is a patron at the business I work at, Michael Goetz, who directed a couple scenes in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Moynihan. He's the dude. He's the Goetz. His name's not pronounced Goetz. It's pronounced something different, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Him and his brother.
Nice dude.
Maybe we'll check out one of his movies sometimes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but I saw it a couple years ago and I was fucking drunk. Like, drunk like I don't get anymore.
It's a fun one. Yeah. I mean, it's just a great cast. Anyway, back to Alita Battle Angel. Let's talk more about it.
Are there more cons? I'm almost struggling to dig them up now. Like now that I'm thinking about it and I'm talking about it in a more structured format.
Well, okay. You know, one of the things I would say is their concept art's brilliant, but only for some things.
Like, what do you mean?
Okay, so I like the single-wheeled motorcycle looks great.
So cool.
Then the car that fucking Jennifer Connelly and Marshall Ali are hanging out in looks like fucking like
a cube.
It looks like that one Scion car, but like an SUV and like made of scrap metal. Like it looks terrible.
I liked the what they call them, Centurions, the big like walking things that they were just straight up Ed 209 from RoboCop. Or ED 209 from RoboCop.
They were.
It was just the same thing, the same idea, like these big menacing, like enforcer police bots.
And not to get back into cons too much, but I did love, like, she had this whole thing where he was like, oh, your body, like, your new body sprays fire, like, plasma, whatever.
That shit was rad.
And, like, I was like, oh, he's telling us this, and it's kind of minor because it's going to be the thing that kills the big bad guy. But they don't even kill the big bad guy, and it kind of is not even, it's kind of glossed over. As soon as she gets the sword from Ajax, who, again...
From Ajax, yeah.
Ajax is great. I don't even know his fucking character.
Fucking cool. I don't remember his character's name either. He just looked cool.
What do you think was a better fight? Was it the roller derby fight, or was it the bounty hunter, or what would they call hunter warriors, which is dumb?
Yeah.
There's
still cool.
There's a con. Hunter warriors is dumb.
Whatever. There just should have been bounty hunters, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Or just hunters.
My favorite fight in the entire movie was when she fights Ajax in the bar. I thought that shit was so fucking good because that guy's all cocky and like he's the best and he has the Aztec Mayan calendar or whatever on his back. He's got this like sword that can cut through like
anything.
It's like a lightsaber basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, but she just kicks his ass and like she's
and everyone else.
He like
she's
reaches out
so
and then
things.
she's like boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, like
so cool.
For me,
the fight was so cool.
What did you think of her fighting style? Because I
thought it was awesome.
I thought it was
just
lame.
Unstoppable.
She was unstoppable, but like at the same time, like the way she fought was kind of like, I don't know, like it was like bad kung fu movie.
Oh yeah, maybe. I think that they were trying to go for something like hyperbolized. I think because they wanted especially like her character was purple. Like they wanted her to stand out and be better than everybody else and
she clearly was
over the top.
Like even when she lost, she won, and that was like a little much for me. And then also when she was doing like contortion moves, which like
I thought that was cool.
Not hard. So my mom owns a circus company, so I grew up around contortionists. Not hard contortionist moves, except for like holding herself up by her finger. Like that was the one like thing where I was like,
so cool.
Most people can't do that, but everything else, I was like, yeah, no, a normal person can do that. You don't have to be a cyborg to do that.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think that was the point. It was just supposed to look rad.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of like doing karate moves at the screen kind of thing, which was like for me kind of
I think it was a little much early on in the movie when she was like just learning about it and she like fought into the mirror and stuff like that,
which was in the trailer.
That was in the trailer.
Part of the reason why it was like
yeah, it was just like I've already seen this. And like the thing is that it's not that it didn't look good, because I think a lot of like the stuff that was like in real time, some of the stuff with her looked really awesome. And I was really put off at first by like her really big eyes, because she has big eyes.
She's very CGI, and I wasn't sure if that like, because it seemed like in the trailer they were trying to make her look like a person.
Yeah, and
in the movie she wasn't really like trying to look like a person.
Yeah,
she was trying to look like a cyborg.
A lot of the biggest problems visually with the movie, like there's one scene in particular where she's riding on the back of Hugo's one-wheeled motorcycle, right? And
she has like a triangle butt.
And she looks so obviously CGI next to an actor who was so obviously not CGI.
Like extra not CGI. Like maybe shouldn't even be in a movie.
Yeah. and like, yeah. And like he looked the most like not CGI of anything in the entire movie. It was distracting. But like, I think a big thing about that was, and we had talked about this a little bit, the way they did Ajax, or whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
The silver dude with the cool sword. However they did that dude, they took like somebody's face and then put it on a CGI skeleton, and he looked like a robot. He looked fucking awesome.
But they didn't mocap it. Like, for me...
I think he was mocapped.
You think he was fully mocapped for the body motion, though?
Yeah. I think he looked better than Alita did.
Yeah.
And he's not the lead.
Alita did not look good in a lot of scenes.
In some scenes she did not. In some scenes she looked really cool. And when everything was moving and it was just a cartoon because it's just all CGI, that stuff looked great. I thought that stuff looked better. But when she was standing next to real action characters...
Did it feel like the Transformers movies a little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
In some of those bigger scenes.
Yeah. Like the roller derby scene.
The roller derby scene in particular. Very much.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's merit to that too, though. I thought all of it looked pretty cool.
I mean, I guess like
my point was that what if they could do Ajax like that, where they have his face on a CGI body? Why couldn't they have done that with Alita?
Yeah, Because, like, the actress...
You know?
Oh, let me find the photo of the actress.
Because they could have used that actress and made her... I guess they were trying to make her maybe almost more relatable in a sense. Like, they were trying to... Like, she has big, almost otherworldly eyes, so it looks like she's absorbing the world for the first time. She's the window to the soul. I kind of like that a little bit from that regard, but it's interesting to me that they didn't do what they did with Ajax.
Okay,
you know?
so look at the actual actress.
They could have put her face on that body.
Yeah.
That would have looked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's like when you get an actress who, like, has that aesthetic where she's just, like, very beautiful and all this stuff, and, like, she kind of has, like a Mero Latino look.
Yeah.
She could have just played I don't know. Like, if it was weird that they covered up the face like that.
Yeah, why'd they drop that?
I don't know. I guess
You know?
I guess maybe because
That would have been perfect.
yeah. I mean, like,
It's odd that they did that with one character. It almost seems like they had the concept for Alita before they finished the movie, and they were like, we're going with this. We're going through with this. But I can't speak for that, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case or not.
yeah.
That was just kind of the impression I got. But I mean, like, I still think it still looked really good. All of the lighting was incredibly amazing.
Some of the early shots for me were very weird. Like, going from, like, them talking, him showing her the oranges to him feeding her an orange.
Oh, I thought that was cute.
It was it was cute.
Yeah,
Don't get me
I like
wrong.
that.
The actual scene itself was cute, but how it was shot, where it was like, it's the wrong hand. Like
Yeah.
you would expect like a transition shot for that to look like, okay, there's some consistency in how she's holding the orange or how he's reaching out with the orange, blah, 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 blah. They completely flipped it for no fucking reason. Like, it wasn't like some deeper meaning.
Yeah.
Also, the soundtrack didn't really stand out to me. Like, at first
We
I was
talked
like,
about
this is
this afterwards,
awesome.
yeah.
But then, like, towards the end, I was like, I forgot what was fucking in that.
I kind of forgot it too. I remember a lot of dubstep. There's a lot of dubstep in this movie.
It's kind of...
The movie kind of was like dubstep, though.
I feel like it was a more successful Mortal Engines. Now that I've seen Mortal Engines...
I didn't see Mortal Engines.
Okay, so Mortal Engines was really trying to do, like, the steampunky thing. This was
Yeah.
trying to do the cyberpunky thing. This was way more effective. Like, I wish that Mortal Engines had had more of the aesthetic and filming style. I guess Robert Rodriguez is just a good director. I mean, like, he did direct
He's a
Spy
visual
Kids. Your favorite movie, Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I say let's get into. Well, do you want to talk about? Because we saw a couple of trailers.
Yeah, sure. Let's
there
talk
was-
some trailers.
Yeah, 'cause always. So we talked Dark Phoenix a little bit, and
Kind of looks cooler than I thought it was going to be.
I think it might be a little bit that James McAvoy effect, where they're just like, James McAvoy's a good actor. We know that now.
He's just good. He's like objectively good.
Yeah.
It's almost like wow, this guy's elevating things. Big fucking name.
Like,
he deserves it because he's good.
Yeah, now that
Yeah.
we're like revisiting Split as like a movie, and now that we're revisiting Glass because it came out, like, he is really good at acting.
Yeah.
I do love the Phoenix Force as like an arc. They did it really poorly in X3. I'm hoping they do the Phoenix Force really well in Dark Phoenix.
We will see.
Sophie Turner is not a bad actress at all, even though she was in Barely Lethal. Like,
We'll see. Oh, is that Phoenix? That's Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that's
the
young
girl.
Jean Grey. Yeah.
Okay.
But like,
Okay, I see
for me,
now.
like, if
I didn't even put that together.
like we would all be like jerking off over the X-Men movies in their entirety, even Apocalypse, all that shit, if Marvel didn't have their own studio through Disney now. Like,
It's true, man.
like fucking all, like, even X3
true.
was like, you know, notably better than Spider-Man 3, Daredevil. Like,
I don't think X3 was better than Spider-Man 3. It was better than The Amazing Spider-Man. I actually don't think X3 is that bad. It has some like weird, like rushed things going about it, but I mean, it's not bad.
It definitely succumbed to like that whole idea of like, let's show as many mutant powers as possible.
Totally. That's what they wanted. They just wanted over the top. And Bryan Singer like dropped the project pretty early on. I think either to work for something else or work on something else or something.
But in general, like, I love the X-Men as a franchise. They're just it's a really good franchise. As
they're
a
cool.
whole. And so it's like,
I'm pretty excited for it. I think I definitely want to see Dark Phoenix after I saw that trailer.
Yeah.
And I had no interest in it before I saw that trailer today.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I've seen the trailer before, but something about seeing it on the big screen today was like pretty exciting. I don't know what it is, but and then what else?
It looks
did we
pretty
see?
fucking rad.
For once in my life, I didn't go to a movie and see the Shazam trailer. I'm very happy.
I haven't seen the Shazam trailer in theaters a single time. And I go to the movies just as often as you do.
Yeah, it's almost like we record podcasts about movies at the same
right.
time.
We both decide to go and see. Yeah.
But no, I've seen the Shazam trailer too much. Not excited about Shazam anymore.
I'm gonna see it. I think we're probably gonna have to. When it comes out pretty soon, doesn't
April.
it? We're probably gonna have to talk about it.
Fuck. I'm not excited.
I know I'm gonna see it. And I know I'm
all
gonna
I
wanna
know
talk
is
about it.
in the fucking trailer he does the floss dance, and that's not going to age well.
awful.
That's not.
That's already old.
Haley got so mad at me for doing I've been doing the floss dance
Don't.
and dabbing with her.
No.
And that's why she doesn't want me staying over tonight. It's fine.
God damn it!
Damn. Sorry, Haley. I didn't mean to call you out. I'm not. But yeah, and then there was that one trailer. What was the name of that movie?
Dude, it looked so cool. It was like Captive Engine or something like that.
Yeah, it was about
Stone Cold Steve Captive or something.
Yeah, with God, what was it?
Some like recognizable actors.
Yeah, but
It was like sci-fi, and they were like driving down the tunnel, and they were like, "Fuck, turn around."
yeah, it was like one of those
It looked
movies
really
where like
cool.
the aliens look like people. That's what it seemed like, and there's like a silent invasion kind of thing.
I think that looked rad.
It looked pretty.
We should watch that movie.
It definitely looks entertaining.
Yeah, I think it said like June 2019 it was coming out or something like that. So we'll talk about that movie. That looked really fucking cool.
Looks fun as hell. Like
yeah.
I'm excited. Captain Marvel. I'm always excited for Captain Marvel.
I'm so amped for that movie.
Like a lot of people aren't. Trust me. She's had 50 years in Marvel Comics, and she's had such interesting
They're not gonna
stories.
fuck it up. And she's gonna play an integral role in Endgame. They're not gonna goof her character up at all.
Maybe they won't goof her character up, but they won't put her in Endgame. What if she gets snapped out?
She's already.
in the end credit scene. What if that happens? Like they'll hype the shit up, but then like she'll get snapped out. What would you think of that?
That's like.
That's some fuck you Marvel shit.
That is some fucking Marvel shit.
That's
I could
like-
like see it happening.
Yeah,
I could like see that happening.
I don't know, and I'm very excited for just like I don't know, just someone who can just shoot spaceships out of the sky with their hands. It's
It's
just
fucking rad. I'm like super excited. I want to see her powers.
yeah, because I mean like I feel
There's
like
gonna be some like spine tingling moment. I'm just so excited. Like the hairs on the back of my neck.
yeah,
stand up when I think about it,
I was
you know?
making sure to point out to you in the theater like when her helmet comes down from the mohawk and her hair just drops.
I just saw it. Yeah,
This is
I was
so
like,
great.
wow, like little touches like that. That's that Marvel sheen that they put on things.
Yeah, and they just pay it.
That's that Disney effect.
Yeah, and like it's finally like a character with a DC level power level.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
gonna be
She's just
done
fucking
right.
unstoppable. It's
Yeah.
gonna be cool.
It's gonna be like
Kind of like Thor, but Thor wasn't really done very well in the beginning, and then they totally just killed everyone he loves, and now he's the best character in the MCU.
yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah. The way that they did Thor was like the way
We should watch Dark World before Endgame.
we should actually. I haven't seen Dark World since like it came out. I saw Dark World in the theaters, and I haven't seen it a single time since because I know it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Because I remember seeing it and being like,
We should do like
Okay.
like the board movie. I want my board. Iron Man 2 and then Thor The Dark World. Like just those two bad movies before we watch.
remember when we talked about having a segment where we only watch the bad sequel? It's kind of still up in the air.
It's up in the air.
Yeah.
We could watch. There are a lot of bad sequels.
Yeah. That's the thing is the sequels are usually bad.
Did you fucking hear the people when we were walking out of the theater, speaking of which, who were arguing about whether or not Gremlins 2 or Gremlin 1 was better?
No, I didn't.
It was so funny.
No, I didn't.
Being in Austin's weird.
Gremlins is a cute movie. Gremlins 2 is one of those movies that people, if you like it, you love it. And if you don't like it, you probably really hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It's just real. Austin's weird, man. Between like people checking me out, and I'm like used to being in LA, and I'm like I'm a 3 here. I'm not pretty. No one look at me. Pretend I'm like a fucking incel. It's fine. Then like here, everyone's like, damn, who's that guy with the superhero chin?
Fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Austin's cool, man.
Austin's cool. I'd say, you want to wrap things up?
Yeah, let's take it to the end here. We're at over an hour, but
From
I
the
think
window to the wall.
to the wall.
To the sweat drops down, Alita Battle Angel. What did you think of Alita Battle Angel?
If I had 5 words, it'd be Cardi. No, I'm kidding. That's as bad as I usually.
Sean Molly.
Those are bad. So we got our parking validated. 5 words for you right there.
We did.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
That was pretty cool. It was going to be $4, and we didn't spend $4 on parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Now,
Thank you, Elmo Draft House.
That's 30 minutes.
We're not sponsored by you yet.
Yeah. Please sponsor us.
They validate parking at the Mueller location. I'm just saying, if you go to the Mueller location and you go see a movie at Alamo Draft House and you park in the garage, they'll pay for your parking.
A fucking soup dumpling place next door.
Like right next door. It looked fucking awesome. It didn't look, there were people in there, so it was probably open, but then none of the lights were on. It was kind of strange, but like.
I've been bragging to people about soup dumplings. A lot more people that if you haven't tried soup dumplings are basically Chinese chicken and pork soups. I don't know what pork soups taste like, but.
You know what they say? Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. 5 words for you right there.
Have a drumstick and your brain starts clicking. But it's an explosion of flavor in your mouth. It's soup in a dumpling.
Sounds
it's
great.
insane.
Next time we go up there, we're going to do that.
Oh,
that
sure.
whole Mueller location is really cool.
Yeah, I'm really kind of into the whole aesthetic they're trying to cultivate up there.
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's like it's clearly for people who have a lot of money, but take that how you will. Yeah. Alita Battle Angel. Would I recommend it to the right person? I would. I would say I want this movie to do well because I like how original and like unique and different, and it's from Robert Rodriguez and it supports my hometown. So in a lot of ways, I want to say, yeah, fucking go and see it. There are things that like, if you're an average moviegoer, you're probably going to get enjoyment out of it. Don't go there thinking you're gonna laugh. Because it's not a funny movie.
Almost lower your expectations. That was my recommendation.
We thought it was going to be really bad, and it definitely surpassed my expectations. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
It's definitely movie the movie. We threw around that phrase a lot. It's movie the movie.
Yeah. If I were to give it a rating out of 10, I'd give it a solid 6.
Yeah, that's very fair.
A healthy 6. Like, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's not. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a nauseating nightmare, and it ended up being a pretty passable, like, decent, unique science fiction film.
Yeah.
There you go. Go ahead. Go see it. Yeah, I'm going to say go see it.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to give it my recommendation.
All right. I'm going to give it 5 words of Ajax has a Mayan calendar. He does. He has a Mayan for no reason. This is it takes place in 2353, which is a weird date.
Yeah. That's actually kind of cool.
Would I recommend this movie? I'm gonna go on the other side. I don't think you should see this movie. I don't think it's
really.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think you should see it. I think that it's honestly not for everyone. I think it's for a very specific group of people who have to see it and weren't expecting a lot.
And I think they marketed very well towards that crowd. Yeah. But I think everybody else, it has a lot. It doesn't have a lot for the masses.
Just watch
But
Akira.
It has a lot for very specific,
Watch Akira.
Or Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. We were talking about this because, they were having
Both are better science fiction cyberpunk movies.
Yeah.
You can even watch The Matrix and get some of the same vibes. You can watch Elysium and get the same story. And District 9 and get not the same story, but the same aesthetic.
It does have very inconsistent aesthetic. A very forced, B-plot of romance, which, I just am not into.
I'm disappointed with that.
We can downplay it as much as we want. It was a huge part of the movie. It really was. And, we were stoked by the action. We were stoked by, and
most of the visuals looked really good.
The fucking script's corny as shit.
Yeah, the script was
a lot of,
probably the weakest part.
Fucking, just the try-hardiest quips. that you expect
Yeah.
from like an anime movie.
But they weren't funny, and like they weren't going for funny. They were going for very serious.
Honestly, if this was an anime movie, it would have played over better.
I think so too. I think it should have been turned into an anime.
I'm going to agree with you 100% on your rating, though. A 6 out of 10 is exactly where I'd put this.
Yeah.
It's above average in terms of movies.
Easily.
Like, it's
Better
not,
than some things we've seen in the theaters.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, I think that we've
better
agreed.
than Aquaman.
This is better than pretty much everything except for Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, which Into the Spider-Verse was just like a sleeper hit.
Oh, man. It's up for Oscars. I really hope it wins. Like,
me too.
I wish it was up for Best Soundtrack, because I have been...
The soundtrack was so good.
Yeah.
Everything about Into the Spider-Verse was like everything that was good about Alita you can get into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. You know what I would have recommended for an Alita? Make her a black chick and then put in a lot of hip-hop. Like, that would have just elevated.
Totally. And then make it like funny, or make it like have quick witty dialogue rather than all of this like slow, over like hyperbolized trying to derive meaning dialogue.
Yeah.
There was a lot of "I will not stand for this" in that movie.
Oh yeah, there was like one line where it's like, "You're evil and I don't fuck with evil.
You're evil and I do not like things that are evil," is exactly what she said, or something. It was something like that.
Oh, it was just throne worthy. And then plus it kind of didn't know who the big bad was. Like, they knew who the big bad was, but simultaneously they had so many different climaxes of like, this is the big bad. No, this is the big bad. No, this is the big bad.
There was one thing that we kind of discussed after we got out of the theater. We were in the car stuck in traffic, so we had no choice. But we discussed that this was clearly like a series of graphic novels that they compressed into one movie, because it follows a pattern of something happens, there's a climax, drop off, climax, drop off, climax, drop off, and then the final climax.
Which, honestly, the final climax was kind of a letdown.
A little bit, yeah. And then it ends on this like
Edward Norton cameo.
It ends on this like such a weird moment. Like, I was expecting the movie to keep going.
Yeah.
You know,
and
I was like, this is going to be the final showdown and it's going to have finality. This movie has no finality.
No, absolutely not. And while I understand why they were going for like sequel mode, like,
I don't think it's a good move.
And no, it's not.
They should have wrapped things up with a nice tight bow.
She shouldn't have known about...
Leaving a question mark.
So there was the big bad of Nova, who is the guy who lives up in the city, up in the sky. And Mahershala Ali was kind of like the avatar of him and was doing his bidding.
Puppet. Yeah. She even says, like, one of your puppets is
It would have been really great if she didn't know about Nova and just killed him and found out about Nova at the very end, instead of knowing who he was the whole time.
But he's still out there. Nova could be anywhere. You know, ends on a question mark. Right, but like there's momentary peace in between movies, so you could set up a sequel when things start like getting turbulent again.
Yeah,
and that would have been a better ending than we're setting up for a direct continuation.
Yeah,
which
honestly,
I think
I'd throw in District 9, Elysium, Black Panther. There are elements of Black Panther. Yeah, in terms of I
haven't seen Black Panther, but from what I know of it.
Yeah.
Similar themes.
Yeah, similar
redemption, coming back to power, things like that.
Yeah.
Lots of like
so another
heartfelt redemptive moments that I thought was cool.
Do you think that Alita was a good lead? Because I feel like she was carried by other characters.
I think she was disappointingly carried by other characters, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the same problem that Black Panther has, which kind of like brings it to mind.
I think it's duplicitous in its circumstances when it comes to Alita being a weaker lead. I think because she's an entirely CGI character, it's difficult to identify with her. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the biggest problems that I have with this movie overall, is that instead of having like the face, even just the face of a human being that doesn't fall into that uncanny valley slump, like where you can tell immediately, like,
she's the only character who doesn't really like. I guess Christoph Waltz kind of looks awkward with his de-aging, but she is literally the only character.
Like, there's like slight, and I think the biggest, I noticed it the most when she was juxtaposed against the character or the guy who played Hugo, because when you see a human, you see the slight eye twitches. That's the thing that I noticed the most, especially because her eyes are so gigantic. All of her movements on your face are so smooth and computerized, and then it would like camera B over to Hugo, and you would see like the twitchiness of humans and how they twitch, and they like very awkward little things that your brain picks up that you don't necessarily.
The idea of eye contact is fucking moronic, because no one makes pure eye contact ever. And that was one thing that he kind of would do, but she wouldn't. She would just be like big glossy eyed.
She looked like a cartoon and he looked like a real human.
And also the way, like, just the way that she smiled and laughed, it was like,
I thought some of the stuff with her mouth, I think they did her mouth the best.
Really? Because some of the human
And, like, her
emotions
teeth
she was trying to do.
real and...
No, I wasn't into it. I guess that's why we would recommend it versus not recommend it. Yeah.
That's what happens. We can't we can't agree on every movie. It's
No.
we don't agree on any movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, besides, like, maybe The Shining? The Shining was,
The
like,
Shining
the
is just, like, literally perfect, though.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
this
movie's
movie
just really good.
I mean, we agree on, like, it's a 6 out of 10. It's a above average movie. You think people should see it? I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if people should see it. There's some people who I'd be like, yeah, see it. And it's idiots. All right.
The only reason I would say go and see this is because I think that there's a lot of creativity behind this IP. I think that there's a lot of energy, and I think the people who made it actually feel passionate about the source material. And I think because of that, I want to see more.
Yeah,
I'd
like to see how they conclude the story.
Exactly.
I don't want them to just make more than one other movie, though.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I think they would love to make a cinematic universe. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it should happen.
No. I think that having like a sequel and having them be unified together basically as one movie, like part 1 and part 2, that's the way it should go.
Yeah.
And then just like drop it.
Yeah.
Trying to tie too much other stuff in there, not a good idea.
What studio made it? Do you know?
I have no idea.
We'll
Probably something under Robert Rodriguez. I would say he probably has his own studio, maybe. We could look it up, but we'll find out for the next podcast. Yeah. But that's Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah, that sure is.
Yeah.
You should check us out on Instagram, For the Story Podcast on Instagram. Twitter, I think, For the Story
Podcast. I haven't been posting much, but
we'll get back on it. You should check out our sister podcast, Idiots Discuss the Universe.
Exactly.
If you have the chance, please give us a 5 out of 5 rating and a review on...
Or a 4 out of 5. We could take a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'll take it. We're doing so well already that we could handle a 4 out of 5. I won't cry, I promise.
Go rate us on iTunes. Absolutely. Check us out on Spotify. By the way, we are on Spotify.
Yeah, we are.
So if that's how you get your podcasts and it's inconvenient for you to go to Podbean or wherever, then you absolutely can reach us there.
Yeah.
Other than that, what else do we have?
Next week we'll be watching Grave of the Fireflies, a Miyazaki movie. If you haven't seen any Miyazaki movies, Princess Mononoke, Ponyo, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. You haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle either.
I guess I haven't.
Or Ponyo.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ponyo, no.
Ponyo's about it.
I've seen Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away for sure, and those are 2 of my favorite movies probably ever.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Pretty great, yeah.
Like, and I won't say that Grave of the Fireflies is a bad movie. Right off the, like, spoiler alert, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, you kind of framed it that way. when you tried to gaslight me with a movie, we're gonna get him to cry, fuckers. We're gonna do it, bitches.
My real goal is that, have you ever watched Requiem for a Dream with another person?
No, yes, actually.
Yeah, there's that moment where you're like, I can't hang out with you right now.
That movie's dark. I'm ready for this. I'm actually pretty excited to see this movie. I think I'm gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then next week we're gonna be announcing our
picks for March. Oh, we got some good stuff coming up for you guys.
Oh, we got some.
We're like really excited.
Stuff.
There's some. I mean, Captain Marvel obviously is coming out next month, but there's another movie that I don't think we should talk about just yet. That's coming out next month. That I think is gonna be really.
And we're gonna pair it with something fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We're gonna throw back because this month we didn't have a double feature. We've been having a double feature pretty frequently.
Yeah, usually our last week of the month it's just kind of worked out that way, but I think we're trying to aim to do a double feature type, like longer form episode or 2 episodes in 1 week about like a series of movies.
I think we're gonna move to like a 2 in a week.
2 in a week, like a Tuesday, Thursday type deal.
Yeah, just so you guys can make sure you download it without any Wi-Fi and making sure that you get as much For the Story content as possible.
Because that's what we want to do. That's what we're here for. We want to talk about movies and help your commute suck less.
Yeah. especially you, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, especially Robert Rodriguez living here in Austin on I-35. As we found out today, I told you traffic's fucking bad. That Sunday evening traffic, jeez.
You don't get to talk about traffic. I travel 6 miles to go
home.
I spend an hour 15 to an hour 30 every day. Thank God I have people who will talk to me on the phone and make me feel more relaxed. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. We love you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
I'm Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, no.